In section 5 of chapter 11, we're going to be going over the properties of the unit circle. This is a combination of two of the older concepts from this chapter blended together into a single problem. Once again, I have a copy of the unit circle up here for our referencing, but I'm only going to do two problems. Number one, I am going to do the 6 trigonometric values at 855 degrees. What that means is I want to find sine of 855 degrees. I want to find cosine of 855 degrees. I want to find tangent of 855 degrees. I want to find the cosecant of 855 degrees. Oops. I want to find the secant of 855 degrees. And I want to find the cotangent of 855 degrees. Here's the issue that we are facing. 855 degrees is not on the unit circle. Oh, shucks. Does that mean we can't do it? Of course not. We need to find coterminal angles, which is what I taught you at the very, very beginning. I need to convert 855 degrees into an angle that is on the unit circle. Realize that if you start at 0, all of these angles represent your rotation around the circle. So right now I'm at 180, then I'm at like 240, then I'm at 315, and then I'm at 360. You can keep going. This is 390 degrees, and you can keep adding more and more angles, and you will get what are called coterminal angles. That is to say, an angle that'll take you to a similar place on the unit circle. We need to deconstruct that. So instead of adding multiple rotations around the circle, we need to look at that 855 and subtract rotations around the circle. So the way we find a coterminal angle that is on top of one of our values on the unit circle is we slowly start unraveling it. We are going to subtract rotations around the circle and see when it will be equal to something on the unit circle. So I'm going to subtract 360 from 855. 855 minus 360 is 495. Last I checked, 495 degrees is not on the unit circle. So I've got to go again. I've got to subtract another 360 degrees. Once I do that, minus 360, I get 135 degrees. And lo and behold, this is something that is on the unit circle. 135 degrees is right here. So we're talking about this coordinate, which is negative root 2 over 2, comma positive root 2 over 2. That is the coordinate we are going to use for these 6 trigonometric values now. So I'm saying sine of 855 degrees is equal to sine of 135 degrees. Sine is the y value, so the answer is the y value of that coordinate, which is root 2 over 2. Next, cosine of 855 degrees is equal to the cosine of 135 degrees. Cosine of 135 degrees is the x value of that coordinate, which is negative root 2 over 2. Then we get to the fun stuff. Now we're dealing with tangent. Tangent of 855 degrees is going to be the sine value, the y value, divided by the cosine value, or the x value. So it's going to be root 2 over 2 divided by negative root 2 over 2, which is negative 1. Cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of the sine value. So I'm not even looking at the coordinate anymore. Now I'm going to take this value and flip it. That would become 2 over the square root of 2. Simplify that by multiplying top and bottom by root 2. You would get 2 root 2 over 2. 2 on top of the 2 on bottom would cancel. Therefore, the answer is just going to be root 2. Secant of 855 is going to be the reciprocal of root 2 over 2, which we just found out what root 2 over 2 simplifies to when you get the reciprocal of it, except this one's going to be negative. And then lastly, cotangent. You can do it one of two ways. Either, well, technically you do it 3 ways. Either you take this the cosine value and divide it by the sine value, or you can get the reciprocal of tangent, or you can simply take the cosecant value and divide it by the secant value. All of them will produce the same answer, of -1. And those are the 6 trigonometric functions at the angle of 855 degrees, utilizing its coterminal angle of 135 degrees as a reference. In problem number 2, we're now dealing with a radian measure. I also want to throw a negative in there just for funsies. We are going to do the same thing. We're going to subtract full rotations of the circle. Now that we're dealing with it in radian mode, I got to subtract 2 pi. But the other thing that kind of bugs me is the denominator of that fraction as it's written right now is a 3. The unit circle that I create either has denominators of 4 or 3 or 2. So I am first going to multiply the top and bottom by 2 to get negative 26 pi over 6. That'll make my life easier going forward. I need to make that something that's on the unit circle, so I'm going to have to add or subtract. In this case, I'm going to add full rotation, so I'm adding 2 pi, which is the same thing as adding 12 pi over 6. When I add 12 pi over 6 to negative 26 pi over 6, negative 26 plus 12 is negative 14 pi over 6. Again, still not there, so I'm going to have to add another 12 pi over 6. That's going to give me negative 2 pi over 6. And while I could probably figure it out with that, I want to get an actual coterminal angle that is on the unit circle, so I'm going to do it one more time. 12 pi over 6. That is going to give me my final answer. It's going to be something that's on the unit circle, which is 10 pi over 6. This is the coterminal angle that is on the unit circle, because if you look it up, 10 pi over 6 is right here, meaning we're talking about this dot, which has this coordinate. We are now ready to start finding the 6 trigonometric values at negative 13 pi over 3. So sine of negative 13 pi over 3. We're going to find the cosine of negative 13 pi over 3. We're going to find the tangent of negative 13 pi over 3. We are also going to be finding the cosecant of negative 13 pi over 3. We're going to find the secant of negative 13 pi over 3. And we're going to lastly find the cotangent of negative 13 pi over 3. First, let's find the sine and cosine. Sine is going to be the y value. The y value is negative root 3 over 2. Cosine is the x value at that coordinate. The cosine value is the x value, so it's 1/2. Tangent is the y value, the sine value over the cosine value, so it's negative root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. When you simplify that, you will get negative root 3. Cosecant is going to be the reciprocal of the sine value. The sine value is negative root 3 over 2, so cosecant is going to be negative 2 over root 3. Multiply top and bottom by root 3, and you will get negative 2 root 3 over 3 as the simplified version of that answer. Secant is going to be the reciprocal of cosine. Cosine's answer is 1/2. The reciprocal of that is just 2 over 1, which is 2. I think cotangent, we got multiple ways to get that, but I'm just going to look at the tangent and flip it upside down. Tangent is negative root 3. The reciprocal of that is negative 1 over root 3. Multiply top and bottom by root 3, and you will get negative root 3 over 3 as our final answer. And this is how you find any of the 6 trigonometric values for an angle or radian measure that is not on the unit circle.